Welcome back to Same But Different. My name is Derek, and it's just me reviewing The Iron Claw this week. So strap in, flex those biceps, brother, and let's review this movie. Brody, where are you? Come back. A24, A24, however we want to pronounce it, does it again. They've brought us another soul-crushing drama about the unbreakable bond between brothers. I really like this movie. The more I think about it, the more I like it, and I love the way the story was told. Let's talk about the story. The story was incredible. If you know about the Von Erich family tragedy stories, you're not going to be in for any surprises here. You're just going to be in for a hell of a time with acting, directing, cinematography, and just a gut punch last line of the movie. If you don't know the Von Erich story, which I didn't prior to like a week seeing this movie, you're in for a very sad travesty of a story. They talk about luck and curses in this film and how it's befallen their family. I'm inclined to believe that it's real, and I don't really believe in that stuff too much. This family suffered a lot. It was paced very well. It is a wrestling movie, but not really. It's a story about a family who wrestles. There aren't too many scenes with actual wrestling in it. There are a few here and there, obviously. The majority of time is focused on the drama outside of the ring, and I appreciated that. And with that drama came very, very impressive acting. Some weaker than others, but Zac Efron, let's talk about the man because he's come so far. High School Musical to this and everything in between. Some hits, some misses. In my opinion, honestly, more misses. But this is definitely a hit. I didn't even realize after a short while that I was watching Zac Efron. 17 again, Zac Efron. Partially due to the fact of, what he did to his face, which is unfortunate because he was an Adonis already. I don't know why he had to do that jaw surgery. Whatever. He acted so well. The restraint he had for this character. Sometimes acting is more about the restraint and less about what you can show somebody. I read that the director told him to try not to cry throughout the entire film until the last scene. And you see it. You see the tragedy in his eyes, you see the sadness, and you see every emotion depicted in this man, and he does it wonderfully. That's especially important because even though this movie was about the Von Erich family, it more or less revolved around his character and the weight he had to carry throughout his life because of his family. And a lot of the situations were definitely told through the eyes of Kevin? I want to say Kevin. Why am I blanking on the name right now? I think it's Kevin Von Erich. There was a lot of pressure with this role, and he brought his A game. The movie was directed beautifully. It was shot beautifully. It was created and shot more aesthetically pleasing than it needed to be. It was a biopic about a family and wrestling, but there were some shots in this that actually blew my mind away, and I was like, this is one of the most incredible shots and held meaning. It just didn't need to go that hard, and it did. There were only a couple things I didn't like about the movie. One of them was that it had almost zero levity to it. Usually speaking, when you have a tragic movie like this, and it's a biopic based on real people, real events, I would expect some jokes to be thrown around, some comedic moments. There are a little bit, but not enough to offset everything else. And not that I wanted to take away from the tragedy, but it was too often that I found myself thinking, wow, this movie is sad. This movie is, I don't want to say boring, but like really, really intense. Is dry the right way to say this? Maybe not dry. I don't know what. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And lastly, this is a nitpick, but it was a glaring problem for me. Time passes in the movie. I think we start in 1979 and then we end up in the early 90s.
It's been 84 years.
The characters don't age. We don't get any gray hairs, we don't get any wrinkles, and at some point, Zac Efron's character just has 2 kids, indicating that time has passed, and he still has the same haircut he did in 1979. He has no wrinkles, no gray hairs. Overall, great time at the movies. Definitely go see this one. It is a good good flick. Even if you're not a fan of wrestling, you're going to be a fan of this movie because it's not about the wrestling, it's about the family. And bring some tissues. The very last line, well, there's a couple lines that kids speak, but they don't count. The very last line that Zac Efron speaks in this movie, I was okay up until that point, and then I lost it. It's just one line. And maybe that's because I'm a brother. And if you're a brother or a sibling, you'll understand. Watch the movie. It's great. I give this one 7.5 championship belts out of 10. Have you seen the movie? Please let us know what you thought about the Iron Claw down in the comment section below. And if you like talking movies, you like the review, and you like seeing our faces, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, helps us out a lot, and encourages us to keep making content like this for you. Also, for next week, we're going to be watching the new remake, it's definitely a remake, but an adaptation of the Broadway musical Mean Girls. Super excited for this one. It looks like a lot of fun. We're going to do that for next Monday. Come on back. Same but different. We love you. Keep watching movies.